one will say that Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel right now, is set to take over the issue of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu because when the Buhari government went after Nnamdi Kanu flew to Israel.
Yes.
And the one said that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have discussion with Benjamin Netanyahu, and Netanyahu now is trying after this IBB informations about Biafra. Netanyahu now is working in conjunction with Donald Trump. We saw where Donald Trump has said that they should release Nnamdi Kanu, that killing of the Christians in the southeast should stop. Do you think that Benjamin Netanyahu and Donald Trump have what it takes to put pressure on Nigeria to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu?
It all points towards that angle of alliance, balkanization. The greatest allies we had in the past was Finland, Ireland, Israel, and some private concerned bodies in America. Because I could remember one Captain Brown that was shot off the coast of Gabon, and his airplane was situated in which region in Nigeria? Southeastern region. This first embassy, and still, that's where they have their embassy today. Until they restore tie with Nigeria under Ibrahim Babangida's regime, Israel and the Nigeria restored tie, maybe international tie. That maybe that was when they may have relocated the embassy. But I know that Israel was having their embassies in Igbo land in Enugu since the year 1970 till date. So because they went home to defend their land, they turned their back on the Biafrans, and we actually fought the war by ourselves, using on our high tech to at least manufacture our Obunigwe and other, firearms made by the then technorat, war technorats, Engineer Roy Umenyi, yes, Kenneth Onwukadike, and many, many Biafrans, that work at the Biafra Logistics Department headed by Chinua Achebe. Then we had many people that actually help us, work out or craft out the kind of weapons we used, defend ourselves during the Nigerian Biafran Civil War. So the roles all these countries, United States, Israel, Finland, and so on and so forth, are playing, is because of the kind of role they actually, played emotionally during the war of 1967 to 1970. Israel is part of Igbo land. They actually know that either we come from them or they come from us. They have actually visited Aguleri, where I come from, Otuocha, Anambra, many times to at least confirm during excursion, if actually Igbos are Israelites or Israelites are from Igbos, and they have gotten many artifacts. They have gotten many archaeological proofs that they have strong ties with the Igbo culture and tradition. And it was even happening in 2021 when Nnamdi Kanu was abducted from Nairobi, Kenya. 4 Israeli excursionists were apprehended by Nigerian DSS, accused of what? Spies. The then president of Israel, then our prime minister, was Naftali Bennett. Naftali Bennett actually war in Nigeria, and there was a sort of this skirmish, diplomatic rows between the two countries. Under 2 weeks, those black Jews and white Jews were released after such accusation, because they went to Aguleri for findings, archaeological findings, and they actually discovered the book of Torah. The book of Torah was in Aguleri, and the book of Torah actually give the full, accurate narratives on how or why Israel is Igbo, Igbo is Israel. And that has actually sealed the controversy behind whether Igbo man is Jews or this or that. It has been finally concluded that Bennett, the then Prime Minister of Israel, confirmed it, that they have, the Jews in the occupying in the southeastern hemisphere of Nigeria, confirmed.
Mr. Rafa, I want us to end this conversation in 2 minutes.
Okay, now.
Many Biafrans have said that they would prefer Israel to come to their rescue, even if it takes them 50 years to be under Israel before they get their independence, instead of staying with this country whereby they have been marginalized. Do you agree with them that Igbos should go under Israel and spend 50 years with Israel before they get their independence?
150 million % agree. I agree with them. If you can weigh the statistics, the average of agreeing with what that guys or what those people are saying, I'm scoring myself. I agree 100%, 120%. Igbos should be under Israel so that we will understand their technology, we buy into their science, everything about their engineer, how they build and form their craft. Though they actually know that we have the brain. If you go into the Russia and the United States of America, most of the scientists and technologists in those countries are from Igbo extraction. I think it is better to stay with Israel. And if Israel come, there's nothing like oppression or compression. There's nothing like suppressing us because already we are Christians. Already we are buying into their technology. Already we are traditionally and culturally the same with them. So their technology is just like water, akara, and the cake for us. It won't be very hard for us. We can cohesively work with Israel because Israel is Igbo. Igbo is the Jews. We are the same with Israel. You are welcome.
Thank you so much, Mr. Raf, for having you this morning. Mr. Raf, thank you for having you, the Waymaker TV, this morning.
You are welcome.
Yes, of course, we saw the IBP have revealed the secret that they have used to marginalize Igbo over the years. And instead of the Ohanese to demand Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to be released with immediate effect, they are asking for 10 trillion naira. Is 10 trillion naira or Mazi Nnamdi Kanu release?
Anyway, from the angle they are asking money, I can actually tell you they are right. Listen and listen good. That is what is called reparation. Reparation is a compensation for damage done or genocide. Let me give you an instance of what happened in 1492. Various countries, ethnicities from Europe actually migrated into the New World, called the United States of America presently. And they used the blacks in Africa here as slaves. They traded on black slaves for over 400 years. What? Ferrying them, taking them into the New World, United States, to work in the plantation because the American originators they met there, the Red Indians, are very weak. They cannot work. They don't have strength. They use the black to support, thereby enslaving blacks in their millions. For over 400 years, there was a price to be paid by the West. The like of Mutuda Abiola went to ICC, sued the West, to court to pay the Africans reparation. And that payment, Abiola was in the fight until Buhari, Babangida, Abacha, disallowed him. He died. So what I'm trying to say is that they were asking for the money to pay for the genocide committed against the Igbos in 1967, 68, 69, and 70. And personally, I'm not in support of that money. No, they shouldn't ask for money. Why? No amount of money that can equate Igbo man's life. Life is something that is so sacrosanct. Yes, so special as well. Then very, very unique, scarce. Yes, not easily come by. Why? Life begins at conception. When man and woman meet, you cannot buy life with money. Life starts at conception. Life, God tells us how life started. He's the one that breathed into this dust and life come to be. That's why we have two things, life and death, and you can't buy life with money. The life of Igbo man can never ever equate with 10 trillion. The
life of Igbo man cannot be equated to 10 trillion.
I'm telling you.
Information reaching us now that the Finnish government now have disorganized the embassy in Finland after hearing that IBP said that the coup was not taken by IPOP, by Igbos. As I speak to you now, Samuel Ekpa, they are ready to free Samuel Ekpa now because they see that Nigeria government, in case they fire against Samuel Ekpa.
Yes, it's all false. It's based on false allegation, deception, and deceit. Do you know why Finland is reacting? Many people would have, should be asking themselves, why Finland? What concerns them? The greatest ally Biafra had in the 1967, 68, 69, and 70 was Finland. Finland supplied all Biafran families with war materials. Yes, they use mechanisms that even beat the brain of the Britain, the French, all the Egyptians, Chad, Burkina Faso, and Algeria, all the mercenaries fighting alongside with Nigerian military clique against the Biafran, people. And they have they had the foreknowledge. They had the best knowledge of what actually transpired, went wrong from 1967 to 1970. How the war was fought. Yes, how the war was fought by going, against Ojukwu people. Because Finland supplied Morocco to help Kwachoko children of Biafrans not to die. Supply them with most nutritious food, one could need to fight malnutrition, called Kwashiorkor. So they actually played along. Let me use the word, I don't know whether maybe balkanization or alliance or allies with the Biafrans. That's why they know more than you and I. That book actually gave them more insight that those people they fought for were innocent of accusation leveled against them in the 60s. What an emotional tactics. What an emotional embrace. What an emotional cooperation. How emotional it is right now in Finland that actually fought for Biafran people that were dying of Kwashiorkor in the 1960s. And I can actually tell you that Ireland, if not part of the contraption that make up United Kingdom, they would have been fighting Nigerian embassy right away. An Irishman set himself ablaze in front of United Nations Secretariat in New York over the same war, over the same genocide against the Igbos. He poured fuel on himself after alerting the United Nations that some persons called Igbos in Africa were being killed, disallowed, murdered by the socialist Britain, who supplied Nigerian military clique with lethal weapon to actually exterminate the race called the Igbos in the 1967. And this Irishman died today. He died a matter just for the Igbo man.
He died for matter just for the Igbo man. Mr. Raf.
The Waymaker TV, the northern part of the country, where a P2B who contested the election in 2023 under the platform of the Labour Party, his popularity is growing, soaring, and we are seeing a situation where even the Fulanis are saying, come 2027, we don't know Atiku, we don't know Tinubu, we are going for P2B. How does that sound to you?
Of course, I watched that video where the Northerners, the Fulanis, are parading Tinubu or Peter Obi to be the next candidate in 2027. These are the mistakes they have done in 2023. Because one will emerge that why we did not play this kind of game, because they are the one that made Tinubu a president as we speak today. The South stood and said never again with what Buhari has done to Nigeria, we will allow an old man, we will allow a visionary, a man that does not have vision, to rule this country again. But the Northern are looking to our house, our eye in the South, and they pour spit on our eye that we don't know what they are doing. Today, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the president who is suffering. The Northern are suffering. So I am glad that they begin to wake up from their slumber. But that is not enough, because their leaders, which are ready to sell them anytime, any day, are ganging up. That's why you see Erufai now is trying to merge with Atiku Abubakar to see what they can do for Atiku to come and collect power from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The fact is that if you ask me what is the difference between Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Atiku, there's no difference between them. There's no difference between them. So for me, Peter Obi will have still be a better option. If Peter Obi will be a president of Nigeria today, let me assure you that Nigeria will have not suffered up to this extent. Because Peter Obi, I know, will not try to please few people. He will want to please majority of Nigeria. But Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the rest of them, Atiku, I know, they will want to plead the few political people so that in order for them to achieve their aim.
I know Obi is known for prudent management of resources, but some people have argued that a P2B may not have the willpower to confront the monsters that have held this country back. What is your view about
Of course, Peter Obi does not have it. That's why I myself am not likely to waste my vote for Peter Obi in 2027, because in Nigeria, if you want to win election in Nigeria, you have to grab the power and run away with it. And that's what Tinubu have done. Tinubu grabbed the power and he ran away with it.
You believe that Tinubu grabbed the power and ran away with it?
He grabbed the power and he ran away with it, and nothing was done to him. Let me tell you why Peter Obi will not succeed in 2027, because Peter Obi is not the type of person whereby he wants to use his money to buy votes. And that's why you see, after the general election, among all the whole candidates, Peter Obi is the only one that is still moving around, giving money to hospitals, giving money to widows, supporting them. He believed that instead of me giving money to buy people vote, let me use this money to affect people's life. And this type of people, Africa does not cherish them.
Okay, you think that is not working for, you think it's not working for him? You think it's not working for him?
It cannot work for him in Nigeria. I've told you earlier that Nigeria politicians have weaponized Nigeria with poverty. And that's why you see when it comes to election, with 3K, 4K, they buy people's vote. But they know that if everybody is okay, it will be very difficult to buy people's vote. And over there in the north, it's what they do most. Look at the last election. It was very difficult for Bola Ahmed Tinubu to buy his way in the south. Because everybody eye open. But over there in the north, he used 500 naira to get a vote from individuals. So for me,
so you mean in the north, vote is cheaper?
It's cheaper.
To buy a vote in the north.
Yes, vote is cheaper in the north because in south here, if you bring 10,000 naira and share it for 100 people, I can assure you that 50 people might turn that 10,000 naira down because they know what to do to make money. Whereas the north over there in the north, because the poverty in the north is alarming, and that's why President Jonathan then try all his possible means to make sure to wake them up from their sleep. But the northern people, they look into their eye and they pour spit on Jonathan. And today, who is enjoying it?
But currently, do you think we are in any way near or close to free, fair, and credible election? Because don't forget that the bane of contesting 2023 presidential election is because of what INEC did, because they could not transmit the election result electronically. Do you think going into 2027 presidential election, are we prepared as a people?
I can assure you without any fear of anybody that Tinubu cannot give any free and credible election in 2027. Because if he try it, he's going to fail woefully and he will not dare it. Let me tell you, in 2023 election, we saw what transpired. How Tinubu buy his way in the sense that he bought people who are important to him. People like the INEC, people like the securities, he get them. And that is one of why we call Tinubu the Jagaban of Africa. He knows how to play. He knows that buying people on the street does not matter. Look at what Wicked did to the people of River State. Wicked single-handedly avert the vote of River State in favor of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So are you to tell you that what Tinubu need? Tinubu don't need ordinary people in the street. What Tinubu need the governors. Tinubu need the senators who will directly or indirectly convert the vote of people or divert the will of the people to his own side. And bet me, write it down, take my word to the bank. That's what is going to happen in 2027 election. I can bet you that Tinubu will not, I don't see Tinubu losing election of 2027, even though the whole opposition gathered together. Even if it's a single person that vote for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will be declared as the winner of 2027 election, because I speak to you, the INEC officials, the security agents, the governors, they are on his side. Even the PDP governors right now, they are ready to work directly or indirectly for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But I don't see President Bola Ahmed Tinubu losing the election.
As a word of conclusion, now that this is the fate of Nigerians, talking about the electorates, what is your advice to them as they go into that election?
My advice for Nigeria is everybody should sit up. Go and look for something to make money. If you have your way, jackpot come up for Nigeria. Because as it is now, the journey is getting more tougher. People to eat now is very difficult. Let me shock you. Gone are those days, if you walk 1 minute, you see pregnant women. You can walk for 5 minutes now without seeing any pregnant women. Doesn't mean that Nigeria has not a fuck. They still fuck, but everybody have adjusted. Because you know the cost of Pampers. You know the cost of baby milk. So that is to tell you that, yes. So everybody should sit up because we are just starting.
Not because the women are no longer fertile.
The women are fertile, but everybody is careful. Maybe eventually they are using condom or doing other way around. That's why you are not seeing it. So for me, everybody should go and sit tight. If you put your children in a school that is very expensive, do the needful and bring them there, and to bring them to school that you can afford, because it's better for you to be alive and take care of your children and get a VP, because we talk now, things are going up daily, things will not come down.
I must say very thank you for your time, Mr. James. This is a good place to let it go. We hope to have you next time. This is The Waymaker TV.
Thank you for having me.
God himself in his infinite mercy has brought Donald Trump, which I believe that Donald Trump is a light. And God is going to use him mightily to wipe away. Right now, we will see very soon. As I speak to you, Donald Trump right now is ready to eliminate all these terrorists in Africa. And his focus now is in Nigeria. All the territory where the Boko Haram, the bandits, these headsmen who are busy destroying. Don't worry. America is coming for you guys. During the time of Jonathan, when Jonathan wanted to do this issue, the same Northerners stood against him. Say Jonathan want to eliminate the North. They refused for Jonathan to tackle this issue that time. If they would have cooperated with Jonathan that time, the level of insecurity in Nigeria, the level of insecurity in the North today will not get to this extent. But today, look at where we find ourselves.
One would say that Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel right now,